Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome to Home Repairs and Solutions, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air. Your hosts for Home Repairs and Solutions are Mary Pearson and Mark Withers. Welcome back, Mary.
Thank you, Gary. I'm glad to be here.
We missed you last week.
Well, I missed you guys too. You know, this is my favorite hour of the week.
Awesome. And Spring Mountain Air is your authorized Amana dealer.
That is correct.
That's right. And here's your hosts, Mary and Mark.
Thank you.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Hey, Mary. I'm glad to have you back. I missed you.
Thanks. Well, I miss being here too. You know, I don't remember ever missing a show like that before. Without it being scheduled. So yeah, that just wasn't a good day.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
We all have them every now and then.
Yeah, I got anyone out there that gets migraines can relate, but I got one. I woke up with one. I do not understand how that works. I went to bed, everything was fine, and I woke up and I was not fine.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I know. It just hits us every now and then.
It did. But I hope you had a great show.
We did.
I haven't even got to hear it or anything yet. I just haven't got around to listen to the CD yet, but I will.
We did. We had Van and Sue Carter on from the Carter Group from Remax House of Brokers, but they also market all of our new houses and stuff.
Yes.
And it was a great show. I hope that we gave people a lot of good information on things you can do, in your house if you're getting ready to sell, things you can upgrade, things that you don't want to spend your money on, this, that, and the other. And so it's just a really neat show.
I'm sure it was. I was really looking forward to meeting them, but maybe next time.
They'll be on again, I'm sure.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Well, did you have a happy Thanksgiving?
I tell you what, I did.
Are you full of turkey?
I'm full of turkey. I put my turkey on the big green egg yesterday morning, and it cooked all day, and it was just absolutely perfect. I mean, it was so good and juicy.
It's hard to mess up on a big green egg.
It is.
You just can't hardly mess it up.
Can't hardly mess it up. And we had that, and then went to the honey baked ham place and got a ham also, and just, it was great.
You shouldn't have to eat for 2 days.
I really probably shouldn't have to, but I already have.
Oh, too late. Too late. Well, we're going to do
right.
that tomorrow. My family's coming and my parents tomorrow and my kids and grandkids. So we'll be doing the Thanksgiving thing tomorrow. So yesterday, my daughter and granddaughter helped me decorate for Christmas.
Oh.
So I could get that done for my party next weekend. So I don't know. Things are piling up really quickly for some reason.
Oh, they start happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Real quick. Well, I got informed that this evening is going to be Christmas lights at my house. So I know what I'm going to be doing when I get home later today. I'll be up on a ladder putting Christmas lights up.
Will you be careful up there?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to hear no emergency room visits.
No, I definitely not.
That would not be good.
Nope,
that would not
be good at all.
Well, speaking of
sure.
good, we have a guest here today that we've been looking for someone to bring on the air for this. And his name is John Dotson. Is that correct?
That's
John
correct.
Dotson with American Chimney Services. And we were talking about having someone come on the air that could take care of cleaning chimneys for people.
Yes.
And he listens to the show and called me and said he would love to come on and talk to people about this. So he's here today, and we're very glad to have you with us today, John.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome to the show, and hopefully we'll be able to answer some chimney questions for some folks out there. I know that a lot of people have questions about it. I had a few questions that we talked about earlier before the show. But we might want to give out some phone numbers first.
I think that'd be great because I got a feeling we're going to have some folks calling today.
I think we might.
Asking questions. And if you live locally here, you can call us at 862-9977. If you live outside the Springfield, Missouri area, you can. We have a toll-free number. It's 1-800-375-0056. Or if you want to text us, you can do that too. And do that at 417-838-3192. And we'll answer your question on the air.
That's right. And, the best time to call and ask your question is when we have the expert here.
That's right.
Because if you call and ask me and Mark, well, you just kind of get what you get.
Yeah, that's right.
And we try to give correct answers, but sometimes we don't always know. Yes, Gary?
Can I be the first?
Absolutely. You got a question?
Yes, I do, about my chimney. First of all, it has not been in service for several years. We have it blocked up. And does it still need to be inspected from time to time, or haven't burned it in several years?
Yes, it should be inspected periodically. Whether you burn it or not has no bearing on the outside of the chimney. The crown is a flat concrete on top of the chimney, and it tends to crack, just like all concrete tends to crack. And let the crowns be thinner the concrete, the quicker it's going to crack. When it does crack, you get water in there, and it freezes and expands. And I had this one lady one time, she had lived in this house for 20 years, bought it brand new, and she'd never used her fireplace at all. And all at once, she said she started getting water in her fireplace. So I climb up on the roof and look at her chimney crown, and it's just like gravel up there. The crown was probably never over 3/4 of an inch to begin with, and it's just all frozen and just like little chunks of concrete everywhere. So water was just coming right down. So, yeah, where if you use it or not, it still needs to be inspected.
Well, I guess you probably answered my second question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It appears on the outside of my chimney, some mortar coming loose where in between the bricks it's coming loose. Do you do that kind of repair also?
Yes, I do.
And then my third question is, how can I get a hold of you?
Well, call 839-0713. 839-0713. And if you want to do a little research, I've got a website, it's AmericanChimneyMO.com. It's AmericanChimneyMO.com.
There you go. Thanks, Gary. Those were good questions.
Absolutely.
You know, that's something that we kind of talked about before the show, because I just use mine every once in a while, and I had that same question. So I just thought maybe if you didn't use it, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But after he explained that does make sense. You don't want your chimney falling off chunk by chunk.
Well, no, and you know the other damage it can do to your house, water damage. Getting water getting in there. We always seems like when we go into older houses, there's always water stains around the chimney from it not properly being flashed or maintained. And there's things like that. And I like something that you brought up before we went on when we were sitting there talking. Mm-hmm. You mentioned chimney caps. You can go out and buy these chimney caps, but some of them are so small that they don't actually cover that crown or anything. And to me, that would be important to have the whole thing covered. Is that correct?
Most chimneys don't have the whole crown covered. Very few of them have the whole crown covered. Most of them just have regular chimney caps, which covers just a little bit more area than the existing chimney tile itself.
Right. So it would be to an advantage too.
Mm-hmm. Unless you have someone who could make one for you, like my husband did for us, and then you can have it properly sized.
And I know there's some sheet metal shops here in town that would probably be more than happy to build you a nice big chimney cap that cover the same thing. To me, that it'd be worth it to have that.
Absolutely.
So.
You know what else that does? If you have a chimney cap on there, now maybe I'm wrong, but that also keeps animals and stuff from getting down in there, or birds building nests and stuff. The way that we put our chimney cap up there, animals and stuff can't get in there. Is that true if you just go buy one? Are they made that way, or did we just make ours like that?
You can buy them either way. You definitely want wire up there to keep the leaves out and birds out and squirrels, the raccoons. I've gotten all those critters out of chimneys before. Raccoons like to get in chimneys and get down in behind the damper on the smoke shelf and raise their babies. And then I have customers call me in the spring and they say, "Oh, I think I've got birds in my chimney. You come get the birds out." I get over there and shine my light in there, and there's bunch of raccoons' eyes staring back at me.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
They are very happy to get a chimney cap once they get the squirrels or raccoons or whatever's in there out.
Yeah, I would think so, because I know that they can do quite a bit of damage to stuff, and just raising wild animals in your chimney doesn't sound like a good plan to me. So I don't know.
Especially if they would get in the house
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, raccoons are really cute, but they can be really destructive.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd care for that too much.
No.
No thanks. So do you get baby raccoons out? I mean, how did you do? I mean, they're pretty aggressive.
Oh yeah, they are very aggressive. The way I've done that is I go to Bass Pro or any place and get some coyote or fox urine and put it on napkins and drop it in there. Since the fox and coyote are raccoons predators,
Sure.
they will
Leave.
They want to get their babies away from that odor,
Sure.
so they take them out usually that night.
Oh,
And get 'em out.
so they
Wow.
take them out. Well, how clever.
Bobby,
So I
didn't
don't
know
have to
that.
do it.
I would not have thought of that. That's really clever because I'm
Wow.
thinking I can just see you like with the glove up to your armpit trying to wrestle this wild raccoon in a chimney.
Huh.
That wouldn't. I wouldn't go there.
Well, you know, that's interesting. So I learned something already there.
There you go, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Souse
cool.
a napkin and throw it down there.
Well, yeah, that's right.
That's it.
That's right. So, you know, of course, it is the time of year now. It's got cold enough. We are, you know, building fires. I had a fire yesterday, you know, all day in the fireplace. There's types of wood that you should burn and some that you shouldn't. Go into a little detail on what a person should burn in a fireplace and what they shouldn't.
In this area, people should be burning seasoned oak wood. And the definition of seasoned wood's cut, stacked, and split for 1 year or longer.
Okay.
A lot of people go out in the woods, they see this dead tree, they cut it down and they haul it in the house and start throwing it in the stove, you know. Well, it hadn't, the moisture's been trapped until it's been blocked, split, and stacked for a period of time.
Even though it's dead.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, air can't get to it until it's
That's
cut.
true.
Cut up and blocked and split
Okay.
and stacked. So that's when air can actually get to it. And a lot of people burn these railroad ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of people.
Oh dear, I would never put that in my fireplace.
Well, that's before they're treated.
Oh, I'm thinking they're treated. I'm like, oh my
No,
goodness.
no.
Okay.
They cut them off the right length before they treat them.
Okay.
And a lot of people stack those just right on top of each other. Well, air can't get to them that way. They just stay, basically airtight, so they don't dry out. So, anyway, if people burn good oak wood, and I tell a lot of my customers to buy your wood now for next year. For next year.
Makes sense.
And that way, you know it's seasoned. You know it's you're not going to have near the issue, near the problems. You eliminate just common sense. Basically, you eliminate most of your potential problems.
Right.
So it's the moisture. Is it so? Because I know that you have on the inside of your chimney, you have creosote builds up on the inside, and that's what you can come and you can clean that off for people. So the creosote comes from the wood being wet. So it's the moisture in the wood, not
moisture in the wood. Usually
Okay.
causes it.
okay.
Really.
And it's kind of like sticky, sappy kind of thing, isn't it? Creosote is.
Yes, it can be.
Yeah, that's why it sticks. So, how much can actually stick, though? I'm thinking if you've got a pretty good fireplace and a pretty good chimney, I mean, how thick can that accumulate on there?
It can accumulate thick enough that it seals completely off.
Really? Oh my goodness! I would not have thought that.
I've had some customers where they won't call me until their chimney will not vent at all. And
Wow.
then I have like 6 or 8 different sizes of brushes, and a lot of times I'll have to take the chimney rods and just jab those down in there to break up the creosote and then I'll start with the smallest brush I have, try to work it through, and then just keep going to a bigger size.
Oh, my
till I get to
goodness.
the proper
Wow.
size. Yeah.
Wow, I would not have thought
I
it could
wouldn't
completely
either.
block off a chimney like that.
Wow.
That is pretty
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I guess, if you start the fire and the smoke starts coming back in the house and will not go up, then you got an issue.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, we need to call somebody.
I just had that issue last week. I had a customer call me. She said, "Oh, I built a fire and all the smoke come back in the house." So I checked the firebox and it appears to be in good shape. I got up on the roof and take the chimney cap off, and look down in there. Well, the previous owner had stuffed gobs of insulation in the top of the chimney. So,
Wow.
so it couldn't vent at all.
Oh no!
So,
why would
and-
Why would you do that?
Well, they didn't burn the chimney. They didn't burn the fireplace.
Oh, so they
The
were
previous owner.
Okay, so they were putting insulation there because they didn't want the draft for the cold air.
Right, they didn't want any draft.
Oh, wow.
And then it had a lot of sand in the bottom of to keep any air from coming up through that ash clean out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it had tons of insulation stuffed in the top of the chimney.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So
I have.
that was
Oh
interesting.
wow. I wouldn't have thought of that either.
This lady had just bought the house I think a few months ago. So I mean,
That's another reason to have an inspection, folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I was going to say, would an inspector have caught that? Probably not. An inspector that comes out and looks, do they look in the
Home
chimney?
inspector.
I would
don't
hope
know if
so.
they do or not.
Okay.
Some inspectors check chimneys. Some of them
Okay.
don't.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I would think that if you had a chimney, that'd be one thing they would inspect
You would think that.
because of the potential hazard or something. If someone had a, wow,
That's interesting. I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the ash clean out. Like my fireplace has a little door right in the very bottom.
Right, that's the ash clean out.
And then on the outside, you got another little
Ash
metal
dump.
door.
Right.
So that's okay. So that's a proper way a person should clean their ashes out, or do the old shovel in the bucket. Which is the? I mean, is there any one way better than the other?
I would clean them out outside if you can. That way you don't have to carry them through the house.
That's true, because you do get
Keep your house cleaner that way.
the house
Yeah,
cleaner. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I have. Well, I have an insert.
Oh.
I have an insert, so I have to shovel mine out.
You'll have to.
Yeah, we put an insert in ours, mostly because for that simple reason you're talking about, we don't use it very often, and we just use it for if we just want to have a pretty fire for whatever, and so when it was just an open fireplace, and mine's all natural rock, then we would get cool air come through there in the winter and stuff, or in the summer, the cold air would go back out, even though we had a screen and stuff over it, still was just open. So we did put an insert in it to help alleviate that air issue. So, and I still just use it periodically, not very often, but it's nice to have one. I like having
Sure.
one, and I like
Oh,
to
yeah.
use it. But, and then I have a question about the, I guess it's the damper. Do you need to, you can move that damper, my little lever thing, in and out. So should you always have it completely open when you have a fire in there? Or is there any reason why not to have it completely open? Because mine, you can adjust to have it, partly open or all the way open. I just keep mine all the way open because I don't know for sure if that's the right thing or not. But would there be reason why you wouldn't keep it all the way open?
Each insert or each fireplace they're individuals, basically. So what works for one will not necessarily work for the next one. So you just got to adjust. And also some other variables would be the type of wood you're burning and how hot a fire you have. Yeah, the hotter the fire, the more complete combustion you have. When you burn in a brush pile out in woods or something, if you first start it, it's got a lot of smoke.
Right.
And then once it gets to burning, hardly any smoke at all.
Right.
Same thing with a fire. If you have an insert, if you damper it down quite a bit, you get a lot of smoke, and you get a low temperature fire.
Oh, okay.
And the lower the temperature, the longer it takes the smoke to rise up through the chimney. And longer the smoke is inside the chimney, the more time it has to adhere to the sides of the chimney. So,
Okay.
that makes sense?
It sure does. So I guess I'm doing the right thing by having mine completely open.
Yeah,
Because I want the smoke out.
Once you get your fire burning really good, you could damper it down just a little bit if you want to, and just see if everything's still working great. If it's not, open it back up.
So you damper it down, and that makes the fire less hot?
It'd make
Okay.
the heat stay in the insert a little longer.
Oh,
and
okay.
Get a little more heat out in the room that way.
Oh, okay.
But-
Well, I don't use mine for that purpose, so I don't really care about the heat. But because I did notice when I was playing with it the other day that I because I can't remember what's open and what's closed. So before I start a fire, I always get my flashlight and stick my head in there to make sure it's open before I start something.
That's good.
And then I always just make sure it's all the way open. But I was kind of messing with it and thought, well, and it kind of felt like it kind of about halfway open. There was kind of like a little catch there, like where you could keep it halfway open or you could open it all the way. And I thought, I wonder if I'm supposed to. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, but I just shove it all the way open, so I don't want no smoke in my house. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have, no doubt.
Most of the controls have little notches, so they are adjustable.
Okay.
Now, mine, you just crank it in and out. And is there any certain maintenance that a person should do to those? Any kind of special lubrication you need to spray on those to keep them working properly? To keep the creosote off of them, or what do you need to do to your damper to keep it maintained?
A lot of times I'll use like a WD-40 or
Right.
something to lubricate it so it works smooth. 'Cause sometimes they get all bound up and they're really hard to turn.
Yeah.
But you take a stiff brush and brush all the particles off of the auger, and then spray it a little bit with a lubricant, and most of them will work real smooth then.
Okay.
So.
Well, I know that's what I used. I just got it there with the WD-40 because that's all I had, and so
That fixes a lot of stuff.
WD-40 fixes a lot of things. That's for sure. It does. So
We just got the pause signal.
did we?
Right there. He just put it right up there. I saw him.
Gary's going to spray the WD-40 on us right now. That's what he's going to do. So, well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back after this.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. A couple of organizations in the Ozarks provided Thanksgiving dinner for those in need. The Salvation Army served a community Thanksgiving meal at its harbor house. Victory Mission served Thanksgiving brunch and an evening Thanksgiving dinner at the Cook's Kettle on Commercial Street. A huge pipeline explosion lit up the sky this morning north of Sedalia. It happened when a 30-inch pipeline burst at the Panhandle Eastern Pipeline Company. A 5-mile radius around the plant was evacuated. There are no reports of deaths or injuries. And the 19th annual Turkey Trot drew about 8,000 people for the 5K run. That's down from the 9,007 who participated last year. The race is the largest 5K in Missouri and is the largest annual event in Springfield. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
Did you know when you shop small at independent, locally owned businesses, 52% of what you spend stays right in the community? November 30th is Small Business Saturday, and we encourage you to support your butcher, your baker, your local dressmaker, the neighborhood wine shop and bookstore, the toy maker down the street. November 30th is Small Business Saturday, so think big, but shop small. Sponsored in part by Sportsland Pickup Covers and Auto Accessories.
Today and today only, 2 great holiday gift card offers from Who Hot Mongolian Grill. Buy $100 and get $30 free. Purchase $50, get $10 free. The best gift card buy of the season is available today and today only at Who Hot, next to Macy's at the Battlefield Mall.
For small businesses, reaching customers can be a challenge. Everyone searches differently, and to reach people and generate leads, you've got to be smarter than ever. That's why YP, formerly AT&T Advertising Solutions, offers a full suite of advertising products to help you reach more customers. With mobile, online, print, and direct solutions, we'll custom tailor a plan that's right for you. Call our local media consultants at 1-800-438-7325, and we'll help you get started today. YP.
Join us Sunday afternoon for Money Talk with Bob Brinker from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 560 KWTO. Bob will take your questions and comments and talk about the financial markets. That's Money Talk with Bob Brinker Sunday afternoons from 3 to 6 here on AM 560 KWTO.
For today, sunny skies with a high 50. Then tonight, partly cloudy, low 29. Clouds and sunshine throughout the day. Tomorrow, high 54 and a low 35. Then we'll have variable cloudiness with some breaks of sunshine Sunday, high 54. Monday will be a partly sunny day with a high 55. Then a mix of sun and clouds Tuesday, high getting up to 58. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
It's 53 degrees at AM 560 KWTO.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome back to Home Repairs and Solutions, where you can learn anything today about chimneys.
Absolutely.
About cleaning out chimneys. If you want to be part of the conversation, if you have a question for our guest, or if you have any home repair question, call 862-9977. That's 862-9977. Or out of the area, 1-800-375-0056. If you have a Verizon phone, it's star 56. Or if you would like to text, you can.
Absolutely. You can text us at 417-838-3192, and we'll read your question on the air and get you an answer.
Yes, we will.
Some people are kind of shy. They just don't want to talk on the radio.
They are.
You know,
kind of like me and you.
kind of like
Kind of shy.
us.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Never
it
have too
happens.
much to say.
No. We all can't be like Eldon Combs that was in here in front of us.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So he's not shy.
I think he could talk to a telephone pole.
He could. He could. That's for sure. So, but
Well,
we would love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. And if you've just joined us, we are speaking with John Dotson today. John is with American Chimney Services. And why don't you tell folks how you kind of got started in the chimney sweep business?
Well, I was a Springfield fireman for over 25 years, and when getting ready to retire, I thought, well, what can I do that kind of related to public safety and continue to use some of this knowledge that I learned over those 25 years, and I came up with this idea of being a chimney sweep and chimney repairman, because that's right along public safety and basically coordinated along with what I've been doing for all those years. And had my own business for 12 years, member of Better Business Bureau, and got website AmericanChimneyMO.com. So it has a ton of information on the website. Anybody looking for some answers or questions or something, well, check out that website. Might even play a song.
There you go.
Mary Poppins.
You never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got a question for you. What's the proper way to get a fire started? What kind of kindling should you use? Should you not use? I get these little fire starter deals and put in there, and then maybe throw. Of course, in construction, I've always got pieces of boards laying around. You know, so I'll take some of that for my kindling. But is there a proper way?
You squirt it with charcoal lighter, Mark.
Should I, keep the gas can handy and throw a little gas in there on it, or charcoal? No, just teasing. But what should a person use? Is newspaper safe to start a fire with? Give us your opinion on that.
Well, when I was a little kid, my mother used to start fires with white gas.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Yep. Kerosene, white gas.
Wow.
Yeah. But you can use newspaper and stuff, but put it a small amount underneath your kindling, underneath your wood, You make sure you don't have any paper, any cardboard boxes or anything that could go up your chimney. Because if you got a good draw and good fire going, newspaper can just go up with the draft right up the chimney, and that's
Land
how
on the roof.
That's how a lot of chimney fires get started.
Okay.
Paper going up the chimney. But if you start with just a small amount underneath, it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
So you'd be safe that way.
How about the little fire starter block deals that they're kind of like a wax material or something with wood fiber in them or something?
Yeah.
Are those probably safe?
I would say they're probably safe. A lot of people use them, I know. A lot of my customers use those things.
Yeah, that's
I've never
what I
had,
always
but
use. Yeah, I use those because it'll help get it going pretty good. But didn't know where they if they should or shouldn't or.
Don't shovel leaves in there or anything like that.
Yeah,
and don't burn trash or furniture.
Yeah. Or your Christmas tree at the end of the season and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
no Christmas wrappings.
No. But I know we're laughing about it, but that is something that a lot of folks don't think about. Is especially if you have a real Christmas tree, and I'm sure you've probably seen this happen. Being a fireman, they get the Christmas tree a little too close to the fireplace. And it's there a few too many days and it gets real good and dry, that could be a potential fire hazard for that Christmas tree sitting there very close to a open fireplace.
Oh, definitely a hazard. And then I've heard people trying to get rid of the Christmas tree by stuffing it in the in the fireplace.
That just ain't a good idea.
It doesn't fit. And they always have bad repercussions from that.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to each his own, I
that's
guess.
right.
That's why we have firemen.
That's right. Job security.
We have a caller on the line. We have Gloria with us from Springfield. Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning, Mary. How are you?
I'm good.
This is a little off the subject. Well, I know all about fires and stoves and that. Back in my day, in the 50s, we had wood and coal fires, in a wood stove and this and that. And so you had to be really careful, But, the best thing of anything you do is to start a fire slow. Whether you use kindling, little paper, little kindling, and, wood on top of that, because we don't use coal anymore. I don't think anybody does. But anyway, I grew up in those ages, so I know that stuff. And one time, I didn't know about American Chimney, but the bricks started falling off my chimney, So I had to, I called Acme Brick because they're the ones that put the brick up on this, and I got a very good mason, and he completely did the outside of the fireplace.
Yeah, you have to keep those in good shape for sure.
I know. I keep my house in good shape. You know that, Mary.
I do know that.
But, Mary, I want to tell you a special story.
Okay.
I'm thankful that, I don't know how, I guess you were on the radio, and that's how I heard you. And you installed my furnace and air conditioning and gave me some other tips about different guys.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to tell you a special story to warm your heart this Thanksgiving
Okay.
season, because Thanksgiving's over. It was a very special thing, and I think we all need to remember this. And I was sitting with my granddaughter. She's a little over 18. She was 18 in September. And my grandson, who's 15 and a half, and they're both in sports and are very good. And she asked me out point blank, she says, Grandma, what are you grateful for Thanksgiving? I said, well, Erin, at my age, I look toward the future, and I'd be very thankful if I can go to your graduations. My granddaughter will be graduating in May, and my granddaughter from College of the Ozarks in December. And I said I want to be able to be alive to see Ben graduate from high school. He's a sophomore now. Very good basketball player. But, and then my granddaughter said, you know what I'm thankful for, Grandma? And I don't want to cry when I say this because I said this on the last program. I think this is very important. She says, I'm grateful I was born into this family.
Oh, that's great.
Well, and I think I mean, she's over 18 years old. You know, none of them use drugs and all that crap. You know, they got good parents, and it comes from the family within. And I called my daughter, my son, because I had the only access to this conversation.
Uh-huh.
I called my son, and I told him what her daughter said to me. He said, "That's really cool, Mom." And I told my daughter and my son-in-law what she said. I am thankful for being born into this family. That gives you a lot to live up to.
Yes, it does.
Because one day I won't be here, and you've got to make sure they are happy that they're in this family.
I think you're right, Gloria.
I kind of shut everybody's mouth up a little bit, make them think.
That's true, you know, and one of the things that is kind of fun is when this time of year and when you're with your family, it's kind of fun just to see, especially what the kids are thankful for. They're pretty enlightening sometimes, for sure, what they say. So I was able to spend Wednesday with my youngest granddaughter, Allie, and we hung out for the day, and we had a wonderful time, and she just was so much fun, and she just talked to me all day long, and we had a great time. And so I think sometimes when we're into so much stuff, you know, we have to have this and have to have that and have to have something else. Sometimes it's the best things you can do is just give your kids time. Spend time with them and visit with them and slow down a little bit. It's not all about how much you get them and how much you spend on them. It's the time that you devote to your family. So I think that's important also.
It's a good call.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Thank you, Gloria.
Very good.
Yeah. Thanks, Gloria. Gloria's one of our she's one of our every Friday listeners, and she's a client of ours at Spring Mountain Air, and she's a wonderful lady, and she always has real good things to contribute to the show, so we appreciate that. We're going to run out of time here pretty quickly, but I had another question that I thought we should discuss because I know that a lot of people do this. I do this. I'm one of those people. But I go out and I buy those mountain pine logs or whatever they're all. I don't know what the name of them are, but you buy them in at like 6 in a box, and they're covered with paper and all that, and you can put them in your fireplace, and they like real easy and all that. And we were kind of talking about that earlier, and you said it's okay to burn those occasionally, but you don't want to do that on like a regular basis. And why? What is the deal with those?
I don't think they'd be near as safe as burning good seasoned oak wood. I mean, they'd be good. Probably wouldn't cause any damage or any serious buildup if you didn't use them a whole lot. I mean, just use them to start with, and then mix in your wood after you get your fire. As soon as you get your fire going.
Are they kind of oily?
They appear to be.
They kind of seem like it to me. If you, like I had one that kind of had a tear in it, and I kind of touched the wood, and it almost felt kind of oily. But I wasn't for sure what that was.
And I think, you know, there's probably a lot of chemicals and stuff in them because they're supposed to put out a pretty flame, you know.
Oh, they do.
Colored flames and
Yeah, they
everything. So,
do.
you know, there's got to be stuff in them that is, you know, probably not the best in the world. But
that's why you don't want them smoking inside. You want all that going up the chimney. You don't want to breathe it, I'm
absolutely.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure. You know, I was looking on your website here, John, and there is a lot of things that you have to offer. And if you want to know about chimneys and stuff, you need to go to your website because there's some really neat things on here. But one thing I'm looking at right now is the liners. You know, if somebody has a chimney that has, say, had tile in it and it's gone bad, you can put or are they stainless steel liner in it?
Yes, stainless steel liners.
And make that chimney like new.
Right. And stainless steel liners are guaranteed forever. So I tell a lot of my customers that when I clean their chimneys and, you know, see a crack down below the roof line and say, hey, you know, it's really not safe. You shouldn't be using it. My suggestion would be to go ahead and have it lined because chances are if you get ready to sell the house, inspector's going to see it, and then you're going to pay for a liner at that point.
Right.
You might as well be safe and they'll not have to worry about your fires.
Yeah.
And go ahead and get it done because you're going to have to pay for it sometime anyway.
Yeah.
It's like pay me now, pay me later.
Yeah. Well, you know, you'd be able to go ahead and enjoy that fire with a little bit of peace of mind that it was safe. And like you say, instead of worrying, well, okay, when we sell this, we're going to have to do it. Might as well just do it and, get it over with. But I thought that was real interesting because it shows a picture of, how a liner works, what it does here. And so that chimney that you think is maybe completely unusable can be taken care of with a liner.
But don't you still have to maintain the integrity of the chimney, though? I mean, even if with a liner, you still don't want your
you'd
stuff crumbling.
Still probably
and,
have to.
I would still think that you would need to have some sort of inspection and some sort of maintenance, even though you have a liner.
Oh, yeah.
Because that stuff's still exposed to the elements, so you don't want like bricks falling off, and so you would still have to do maintenance.
Right. You still got to do maintenance, and the liners they suggest you have them cleaned and inspected once a year.
That was my next question: is how often should you have that done?
Right.
Especially, I would say if you use your fireplace primarily for heat, a lot of people still do in this part of the country, and burn a lot of wood. So I would think at the end of the season, should you do it at the end of the season, before the beginning of the next season, or does it matter? Just as long as you have it done.
My preference is to get it clean as soon as you get through using it.
Okay.
Like April, May, whatever time you quit using it, that's when I suggest getting them cleaned.
Okay.
That way the creosote's not sitting there causing any damage to the tiles and
Does
everything.
it harden as it set? Does it get harder, or is it just corrosive? Is that what the problem is with it?
More corrosive than getting harder.
Okay. So you don't want it eating into your bricks and your mortar and stuff.
You keep mentioning maintenance. One of the best things people can do to a chimney is put a brick and mortar sealer on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like waxing a car, because bricks and mortar, they're porous. They will absorb water. And like mentioned earlier, when water gets inside bricks and mortar, it freezes and expands.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have deterioration. Well, if you put, every few years, put a good brick and mortar sealer on it, that way water will run off the bricks and the tuck pointing and the mortar and everything and not soak into it.
You're talking about the outside of the chimney?
Outside the chimney.
Okay. Does that apply for people like me that have rock?
Yeah, sure.
So any material,
Yeah.
you can put the sealer on. Okay.
Right. Yeah. On my house, I took the vinyl siding off the front and I bricked it myself, and then I had big river rock columns and river rock chimney. I put artificial stone over all that, over the river rock. Made my house look about 50 years newer than it did earlier. And I put, I think, 2 coats of sealer on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking this morning, it still just shines. And that's been probably 5 years ago.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So how do you just like brush it on, with a paintbrush?
I brush it on.
Yeah, brush it on.
Some people spray it, but you get a lot better coverage if you brush.
Okay.
Just brush it on really thick.
Okay. And so that's some of the services that you can provide for all your clients is the maintenance and repair and cleaning and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. I don't feel like I'm doing my customers justice if I don't recommend maintenance, because
Oh, sure.
that's very important. You want to keep your chimney maintained, so a few years later down the road, if it's got cracks and water gets in there, they're going to have to start replacing bricks and major tuck pointing and all kinds of stuff.
Well, we talk about that a lot on the show. There is nothing that is completely maintenance free.
No.
So if you own a home,
sure.
there's maintenance, and it might not be huge maintenance, but there's going to be maintenance a chimney is one of the things that is exposed to elements like we've talked about, like your roof and some other parts of the outside of your house that sometimes you don't always think about. Now, one thing we haven't talked about, we're fixing to run out of time, and I want to get this out for our listeners, is what size area do you service? Like, do you go down into Arkansas, or do you just serve mainly in Springfield, or what's your service area? Because we broadcast pretty far out.
Take care of Springfield, Rogersville, Ozark, Nixa, Republic, Willard.
Okay.
And I get the Ash Grove and Walnut Grove once in a while.
So like the Springfield metro area mostly.
The metro area.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, because I just could see someone, from Harrison calling or something if they needed a cleaning done. And so I didn't know how far out that your service area was. So you service pretty much the same area that we do then.
Yeah, 20, 30 miles.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. So have you, when you were a firefighter, did you see very many fires caused by chimney problems?
Yeah,
I guess if it's
so-
bad enough, it'll burn your house down.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of them. I remember one. I think the first year I was on the fire department, Christmas Eve, we had like 5 flue fires that night, and
Oh my!
and some of them got going so big, the chimney fires did, that the the fires caught a wall on fire behind the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
we
my!
had to tear out a lot of the fireplace.
Oh my!
Yeah, the rock and brick and inside the house, and it can be very, very dangerous.
That would not be a good Christmas Eve
No.
at all. But you do hear about that quite often. I mean, this time of year, especially, and maybe especially people who, like me, I just use mine more for recreation, like I said, than I do heat. And so, you know, it's something that you think, well, I don't use it that often, so it's probably okay. Well, it might not be okay.
Right.
So you're always better to be safe than sorry. We talk about that a lot on the show. You know, it's better to be proactive than reactive, especially when it comes to things like this that can, you know, cost you your house or maybe even your life. So how long does it usually take you to, of course, I guess it depends on how bad the damage is, but how long does it, like if you're going to come out and do an inspection, do you do free inspections? Like, do you come out and just say, yeah, okay, this is what's wrong and this is what you need to have done, or you just wait until people call and have a problem? Do people call you for, you know, is it okay or is it not okay? Or
I get calls from any question you can think of.
okay.
Normally I charge a service call.
Okay.
You know, because I've got to pay gas, and if I have a helper, I got to pay him, and
Sure.
it's time it takes away from my business that I could be working on
Sure.
another chimney and stuff. So
Sure.
I usually don't charge very much.
You don't have one of those vehicles that runs on air yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
We don't either.
No.
I did see where they's coming out with a vehicle that runs on whiskey. That's the truth.
Oh,
I
no,
seen-
that'll
I
be
read that.
cheap, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it said something about.
Oh, my goodness.
Your vehicle will run on whiskey.
Oh my goodness.
So-
Okay, that's a little nuts.
Yeah,
but
that was.
hey.
I seen it on the internet. Everything you see on the internet is true. Isn't
Oh,
it?
sure it is, Mark.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I
Yeah.
did see it. John, it's been great having you on today. Give
Well,
your
thank
numbers
you.
out one more time, real quick.
It's American Chimney Service. Phone number is 839-0713.
Okay. And I highly recommend him. He took
I
care of
learned
my
a
chimney.
lot today.
Absolutely.
Wow,
And,
great information.
Real quick, I did have a question that was texted in, but it
Okay.
was about insulation, cellulose versus fiberglass. We'll talk about that on next week's show. Just a
We
little
can do
bit.
that, yeah. Don't forget.
But appreciate you texting that in to us. So,
What you got going on tomorrow?
rest and relaxation.
Good for you.
That's right.
You're still digesting that turkey dinner, aren't you?
I am, that's for sure. So, you got family coming in
I
tomorrow.
do have family. I'm going to go home after today and bake some pies and stuff and get ready for tomorrow. So
Great. That'll be
Yep.
fun. So,
It'll be fun.
well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO.
Repairs and Solutions.